97 Out of Box. This is DJ Eric, one part of the Big Throw and Eric show. Right now you're tuned in to Tea with Monroe. Ooh, sex, love, scandal, harassment. Oh, you get the tea right now. Tea with Monroe podcast. You're officially tuned in.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Tea with Monroe. Hey, honey.
How you doing?
Why you sound so formal? You my husband.
What's up?
Stop acting like you on an interview.
Hey, what's up, then? I'm gonna go back to bed then.
Go back to bed. Man. Okay, happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody. You gonna tell everybody happy belated Thanksgiving?
Happy belated Thanksgiving, guys.
You know, that's just rude. It's after Thanksgiving. We didn't record before Thanksgiving, so now we're back. We want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and hope you had a wonderful time off with your family, sharing all the gratitude and love and meals and just all that great family camaraderie, right?
That is correct, yes. Mm-hmm.
So everybody, welcome back. And once again, I do want to apologize for being out last week. And once again, I want to say it's not my fault. It's the hubby's fault, but okay. So I just want to make sure that you all continue to check me out on iTunes, which is Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. I just actually found out through just messing around with my Lipson, who I use for my podcast, and I saw Spotify as one of the directories, and it looked like I had actually signed up for Spotify. So I was like, I don't remember doing that, or if I just don't remember.
Maybe they did it automatically. I don't
No,
know.
because you have to actually go out through the directories and add them to your Lipson profile for Lipson to push it to the directories. So I said, let me go out here and check out Spotify. And I searched because I don't know how to use Spotify. And lo and behold, Tea with Monroe the podcast is sitting mighty proud and high and mighty on Spotify. So definitely check me out there and listen, and share with all your friends, all of the directories, which ones you use. So keep us moving, keep us pushing, keep us popping, right?
Right.
It's a way. So for Thanksgiving, first of all, I want to say, how you like my purple hair?
I actually like the purple hair.
So, guys, I usually rock blonde, but I actually decided to go purple for the Thanksgiving holidays. It's not a fall color,
Right.
but it did pop. I just wanted to try something new, something different, something edgy, something more befitting of my personality.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. They say blondes have more fun, but purple was fun.
Yeah, royalty.
Exactly. I got a lot of compliments. I got a lot of strange stares.
Yeah.
Which brings me to, which I think I was telling you about when we were, so we decided to go to Florida for Thanksgiving to visit my mom. And we took Spirit, the #1 airlines in the United States, for the best service, the best rates, the best plane.
You want your luggage on time? Fly Spirit.
Oh my God. So definitely Spirit is very economical, but it's a very challenging process to deal with.
You're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, I just don't even know if the quote unquote discounted rates are even worth the trouble, because
So you buy a ticket for $150.
no. That's round trip. So just say one ticket may be $60 and the other one may be $75 coming back.
Okay, so $150
Round trip. Okay.
Round trip. So what would you pay for another airline?
I think if you fly, I think if you fly United, you can actually get comparable rates to Spirit, but the process is a lot different. It is sort of a la carte, but not as a la carte as Spirit. Spirit is just doing team too much. I know you said this before. It's a good marketing plan. But when I tell you that shit is unorganized, it's crazy what they charge you for bags. You could be not even a half a pound over, and they want to charge you $150. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then the lines are outrageous.
I think the airline industry likes Spirit. They want Spirit there.
Why? Because it brings the people to the airport.
No, it they get the quality flyers. The people with a little more money, the people that will pay for a flight for comfort, for the luxury of a flight,
Right.
not just trying to get A to B. So I think I think that they are they really want them there. So they get all the rugrats and all the people.
The riffraff. We the riffraff.
Right, the last minute flyers, the people that's trying to get a quick flight out and whatever it is. So
I will say, to the benefit of Spirit, if you fly some type of way, like for my son, he flies, just sporadically. It's just him. He doesn't carry a lot of luggage. He's carrying his equipment for his photography. So for him, it's a benefit.
right, he has a technique.
Yeah,
So
he has a technique.
he went online and he found a way of folding clothes and
It's like
compacting.
right. It's like he put a pair of jeans and shirts and wrap it up in a sock.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a Pringles bottle, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
It's the craziest.
Like two folding.
Yes, and then he puts on a pair of jeans, a pair of sweatpants, 2 shirts, and his hoodie and his book bag, and he's out.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
So he doesn't have to use baggage claim, because what happened to you before with baggage claim? Didn't they lose your the whole plane got lost, remember?
Oh yeah.
We were flying into
It
Orlando.
was like 2 hours.
Yes. How the hell you lose the plane?
I don't think they lost the plane. I think they just didn't have anybody to unload the plane. So it was like whatever crew they had, it had to unload the other plane before it unloaded that plane.
So it was like 2 people assigned to all the Spirit planes.
Probably hidden plane. We were there for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, because we was
waiting
out.
on the bags.
Yeah, because we were out and out. Had to circle the airport several times before. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you know what? What's that?
What?
When you give feedback to the businesses, what's that? Yellow Pages. What is it called?
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Better Business.
No.
What? Yelp.
Yelp. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
It's called Yelp. Yelp. It's a Yelp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my Yelp review. I say every single time I'm gonna stop flying Spirit.
Ooh, that's another one. Sorry. But go ahead.
They both start with an S and end with a T. But Spirit Airlines, I mean, they've torn up stuff. They do not replace things that they tear up. They do this investigation. Of course, the investigation does not go your way. You're not refunded the money that you lost when they lost your stroller or tore up your stroller or lost your car seat. You're not compensated for your inconvenience. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And anyway,
you get a credit.
Yeah, but they give you only a short time to use it, and then it's not It's not refundable, or you can't gift it to somebody else. You have to use it.
You're going about this the wrong way.
What's that?
We want Spirit as a sponsor, so Spirit is the best. We need to fly Spirit.
Spirit is not paying us for that bull crap, so hell no. And they probably won't, because they have enough marketing. I mean, you know what the thing about it is, the customer service is so bad too. And this is no offense to anybody who doesn't speak English. I'm down for anybody with a job. But the people who answer the phone, you can't understand them. They're not from here. They can't explain.
You're calling out of the country.
Yes, you're calling out of the country. They can't explain anything when it comes to, I mean, they have a script that they follow, and they don't deviate outside of that script. It's very frustrating. So anyway,
So wait before you go there. So the best, if a plane was going down and you had Sprint and you wanted to call
Sprint or Spirit.
If a plane was going down and you had Sprint and you need to call your loved ones,
my call ain't gonna go through.
Your call ain't gonna go through. So
that's why I gotta fly with you, honey, because you got Verizon.
That's right.
Because your calls are gonna go through.
No, we're gonna make a call.
You better leave Sprint alone. It is pretty bad. So I don't even want to talk about Sprint. So we went through TSA. Everything was pretty uneventful. But, I was rocking my purple hair, so I said all that to get to this point. So I've been getting stares. And, my purple hair does not grow from my scalp. So granted, I get it. People are going to stare. I am a black pecan tan woman rocking short natural purple hair. And I get it. Okay. But here's the thing. Staring is so rude. So very rude. What's wrong? Staring, I can't even talk. Staring is so freaking rude. So do me a favor. And if you don't do it for me, I'm going to force it out of you. So like I told you, I was going through TSA. I got through, went to the little stair area. I was putting on my shoes. And you know how you just feel somebody just staring at you? So on the seating next to us, I see this family, and I saw the wife first. Mm-hmm. And we made eye contact. And her mouth was moving. And then her husband looked my way, but he looked at me, then he looked over me like she was telling him to look, but don't look, And next thing you know, the kids did it. So I'm like, okay, these MFers, they want to stare at me. Okay. So I just finished putting on my shoes, grabbed my bags. So I walked in front of them, me and my son. I turned around and I just stared at them. Hey. Just stared at them. And they started looking all up in the sky, looking in circles, looking crazy. And my son was like, "Ma, this is really awkward." I'm just like, clearly my philosophy is on staring. Either you want to speak, and speaking could mean speaking hello, compliment me, or tell me F off, or you want to fight. What other reasons for you to just sit there and just stare at me like I got a booger in my nose? And so I do that to people quite frequently. If you stare at me, I'm good, or if I feel like you talking about me, I'm gonna say something.
So where have you had a boogie in your nose?
Tell me I got a booger in my nose. Don't just stare at it, or at least look at it and keep it pushing. I mean, damn, don't just sit there and stare in my face and whisper and tell everybody to look at the booger.
I bet you they was like, this lady crazy. this purple hair lady crazy. Were they foreigners?
No, well, they could have been. They were not. They were non-black. They were not Hispanic. But Caucasian. They could have been European. They could have been anything. So I don't know.
Hungarian.
Yeah, Scottish. I don't know. Yeah. They could have been African.
And they probably say, "Oh, I lady hair."
So look, don't stare at me, okay? I just don't like it. I think it's rude.
I like the purple hair. They ain't used to seeing that now. This is America, so.
That's what I'm saying, and I felt like I was rocking that shit. Even if you don't think I am, it was so funny. Kids were like, "Remember that little girl tell Mommy she has purple hair?"
Yeah. What's that? Who's that? I thought you was one of the trolls.
Shut up! No, they did not. I think I was a troll. Who thought I was a troll?
Nothing. But the little kid did. The little kid thought you was something. A Smurf, a troll. It
had to be a troll. Smurfs are all blue. Trolls have different colored hair. Yeah. They're quite cute and they can sing. So I take it. I take it. So we went to Florida, like I said, and yeah. So Thanksgiving was dramatic. How did you feel about Thanksgiving?
It was. I had a good time, but it was a lot of emotional stuff there. A lot of Philly conversational stuff. So, but it was good.
Well, the highlight of Thanksgiving was I woke up, had to go to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And which was crazy. I'm here in Florida. They're in Florida. And they had to go to the ER. It didn't take me long. We found actually a pretty quick ER. And they was really nice, and they got me through. We found a pharmacy that was open until 2. Mm-hmm. So my situation was straight. But at the same time, my nephew, appendix burst. Well, we didn't know it had burst. He was complaining of a stomach ache. Right. My sister said, let me take him to the hospital. Took him to the hospital. And the way I guess his symptoms.
He must have really been like really showing some pain for your sister.
Well, my sister's scale was the fact that he never asked to go. He doesn't like doctors. So he had been vomiting all night where there was nothing left but stomach acid. Right. And that morning he was just like, I just, something is wrong. I don't feel good. My head hurt. I can't hardly breathe. He said, I really need to go to the hospital, Mommy. And so that for her said, because he never wants to go to the hospital. He only want to go to the doctor. So for her, that's a trigger. So they took him. Long story short, they ran through. They did an MRI. Is the MRI they went to go through the whole body goes through the machine? Yeah, they did an MRI, and they did find that his appendix was larger than it should have been, and they put him in an ambulance and took him over to the pediatric hospital, Arnold Palmer, where they decided to go ahead and have surgery because they didn't know at what stage it was, and they wanted to see they want to take the chance of it already have burst or it bursting. Yeah. So they went in laparoscopic, but then found that it was more infected than they realized, which means it was bigger because it had got a blockage in it, and it got built up, so it was really big. So they ended up cutting him like across like a bikini cut, and they took out his appendix, and it was really big, and they glued it back together, and and that was Thanksgiving. So my sister and my nephew were not with us for dinner, which was a huge, it was hard for everybody because we were always together. But my brother was there in all his glory.
He needed to go to the hospital. That was just...
He did. Okay, so my brother, when I tell y'all my brother, I don't even know, I'm going to let y'all judge. I'm not even going to say what I think y'all may think he is, but in my eyes, as his older sister, he is a pillar of strength. He is Hercules. He is the man's man. He is one of those type men that will protect you.
He will break his arm and say, I don't need no cast. This ain't nothing. It'll heal in a little bit.
Which is okay, so he broke the first accident, he broke his hand. The second accident, he broke his arm, his wrist. His arm and his wrist, I think.
Well, how far forward is that?
It was only a few weeks, and both accidents were from a skateboard. Now, if you fall off a skateboard the first time, what is the likely? And then he didn't even get a cast on that.
If you're over 30, you should not be on the skateboard. I think that's
in his defense, he has young girls who
he
playing with his daughters, and they very active, outgoing, and these are not regular skateboards either. They're like
not foot long.
They're really long skateboards.
I forgot what you call it.
Long boards, maybe.
Yeah,
I just said that because they're long, but they're really long skateboards.
Right. But I don't know. I stopped playing basketball. I started doing the whole thing once I hit like 35 years old.
Yeah, it's some things I won't do either. I mean, you won't catch me running hard, jumping hard, nothing. The most I do is what I do in the gym because we don't heal the same. But the difference, but even if we were outgoing in that way, if we broke something, we're getting a cast. My brother will not get a cast. Okay, so he's at Thanksgiving with this broke arm, broke hand, walking lopsided because come to find out his back is hurting. And then today...
Wait. You got to tell him about his back.
Okay, so... Well, today he went to the hospital because his hip...
No. Tell him about the...
Oh, the street burns?
Yeah.
Okay, so initially I thought the backache was because when he fell off the skateboard, because he was going so fast down this gravel road that he has never ridden down before. His daughter was taking him a new route. And when he fell...
When he hit the gravel. I think he hit the gravel.
Hit the gravel, and of course, he's going however many miles an hour he's going. The skateboard goes from up under him. He's still going at that speed, but on his back and his side. Yeah. So on his back and the side of his body, it's like a street burn. Right. Is it called street burn? Where all the skin is gone.
Scab.
Yes, all the skin is gone from the back all the way down his leg. His knee is swollen. I mean, it's bad, y'all. I mean, it's bad. And he broke down. But do you know when he went to the doctor, they told him because he was on a skateboard that he had to file a claim with his auto insurance?
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I can't speak to...
I would fight that. That's even... Okay, put it like this. Even if that's the case, they have to cover you, and then your
insurance, they can reimburse. Right.
You. So that was crazy. I don't understand that.
But he high-headed. He got frustrated. He didn't want to deal with it. So long story short, he does not have a cast. He's walking around with these body-long scabs on his body that, when scabs form, they get tight.
Right. And
it's painful. And then clothes rubbing up against him. It's like a burn. It's really bad.
If you move, you can break the
scab. Mm-hmm. So he's in a lot of pain. And on top of that, his back is now hurting. So today he went to the hospital because
So painful.
his back was hurting so bad. He didn't know what the heck it was. And come to find out, his hip is out. Now he knows that the skateboard accident actually damaged that part, but he says,
But he been feeling that hip for a while.
yeah, because he thought because it feels like our back. Because when I have back pains for years, I thought it was my back, but it was actually my hip.
It may be something in y'all.
That has nothing to do with it.
Y'all sway back.
He's not sway back.
I don't know if he got a sway back. I'm just saying, it could be something where y'all built or something. Y'all hips going out and crap.
Well, everybody has hip problems, but I've been in several car accidents, so that has contributed to my situation. And bad posture, ergonomically, I don't know. Look like I'm slouching now.
Yeah, I like that.
No, I don't like that because I'm slouching. Now let me sit back straight, feet flat on the floor.
I like that even better.
She's stupid. So anyway, so he was there. Anyway, so we were having these delightful. We actually had these conversations the night before. I'm just gonna keep it general. Right. We were having these conversations. I don't even know how it got started. Who started that conversation? Was that you?
What was it? I'm not sure what you're referencing.
The conversation about gay marriage.
No,
it
was not me.
Something we were talking about triggered that conversation.
I don't remember I don't remember what triggered it, but I think I was speaking to your mother or something. I'm not sure.
So I don't know what triggered the conversation, but we ended up talking about gay marriage and the right to marry. And of course, you start giving your opinion on your belief system.
The conversation with if my child was getting married, I'm losing my voice here again. If my child was getting married, would I think I said I would not attend the wedding. I think that's what I said.
Okay.
So, and everybody was shocked because I said I wouldn't attend. I don't believe in the marriage. And they was like, well, you don't do that. You still support. And I'm like, I don't want to support or I don't want to sign on or what's the right word?
Support.
Well, I guess not promote, but I don't know. But
glorify, promote.
Yeah, I don't want to. I can't think of the word I want to use, but it's a better word for it. But I didn't want to do that because I just felt like it would be saying that I bless it. I agree with it, and I don't believe in it. It's my own personal beliefs. It's not if my child wanted to, decide to get married to the same sex. That's their business. Hey, that's him or her. But I would not. I would not acknowledge it. It would not be like you can't sleep in my house with it. That's like it's the same if you brought somebody home, and if you were not married and you want to sleep in my house, it's still the same thing. You call yourself a relationship, but you're not. To me, that ain't gonna happen in my house. It's not gonna. I'm still gonna respect that person, deal with that person. Like, hey, how you doing? This is my son's friend, or this is my daughter's friend. I'm not going to acknowledge that, and that's just my personal.
So this caused a bigger conversation. I mean, the Bible was brought up. You were looking up scripture.
I didn't look up scripture.
You did. You was looking up something for one of my nieces. You were looking up scripture, and because
that was later.
Because she wanted to understand.
No, she was so upset at the fact that
before she got upset, she was trying to understand your point of view, and then
I didn't feel like she was trying to understand. I feel like she was trying to convince me that I was wrong.
My sister, yes. My niece, no, because she didn't understand what your angle was. Now, so other people came into the conversation. This is just my recollection.
Mm-hmm.
Came into the conversation. Somebody agreed with you, and that's when my niece made the comment. So if hypothetically, if I were gay and I married, and I was having a wedding, but I was going to marry another female, would you come to my wedding? And both of you men said no.
Correct.
And that just devastated her because one of the men she just really revere, and I mean she has high respect regards for you also, but I think her um she just didn't understand how could you love somebody and not
Well,
be supportive of their decision.
I'm gonna blame this on everybody that's involved in our life, and I'm gonna say this why I say it. Because it's kind of like the snowflake mentality. They talk about the
You
snowflake.
say that a lot. What is that?
Snowflakes is where, as soon as the new most of the millenniums, most of the younger or college, maybe 30 and under. I don't know what they call them, but when they hear something that they don't like or that offends them, they lose it. They melt. They cry, kick, scream, whatever. They can't handle somebody going against their opinion.
Okay. Let me look at it. Let me see. Generation Snowflake or Snowflake Generation is a neologistics term used to characterize the young adults of the 2010s as being more prone to taking offense and less resilient than previous generations, or as being too emotionally vulnerable to cope with the views that challenge their own. Oh my! I've never heard of this term. So this is not like are they millennials?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So they
Anybody
are
in
a
this group.
subgroup within the millennials, or
But
is it thought
it's
press?
even the older generation. Is just how you start categorizing. If you notice, everybody's offended about
everything, right?
And it's part of the PC movement. It's part of the, you know, what is it? It's part of the movement. Like everything is combined into one. So pro gay. So if you go against anything that's dealing with gay, regardless if it's your religious belief or whatever it is, you are wrong, you're a bigot, you're whatever you want to call you. You're offensive, don't want you around, and you got constitutional rights, but they would try and shut you down in whatever ways it is. If it's going against like the Me Too, the Me Too movement was another one. So if you was a man, you said, I don't believe all these women, you all of a sudden, hey, you're a liar. Something's wrong with you. You're supposed to always believe women. Women don't lie. All of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if it was the Black Lives Matters, and you say, well, white lives, Indian lives matter too, or whatever, but it's against whatever the movement is, and the movement has the support.
So why are we coddling? And because I think that's very unrealistic expectation to think that everybody's going to agree.
They want everybody to think. See, if you control the language and you control the speech and you control the media coverage and you control the colleges and you control all the key functions of the younger generation, you can tell them and teach them what you want them to think, and you can shape their minds. You can tell them about there's no God.
A lot of them thinking that too. Yeah.
You can tell them that the earth is warming and the
Or
climate
the earth
is
is
changing and we are causing it. I mean, some people believe that. I mean, I'm not gonna.
That's not our argument.
Yeah, that's not an argument. I'm not going there. It's just something I don't believe. But
right.
But you can tell them anything, and they find this to be. They find this to be like the Bible, in their terms. So, you got all that happening. And so, yeah, you got snowflakes now. You offend them, they think that they're supposed to get. And then we as parents have done our part too. So you got to think about, what have we done where your child expects to get everything they ask for? So we done our part too. They don't believe in they have to work for it.
That's true.
They don't believe
entitlements.
Right. That's part of the problem. They've been coddled and they've been protected. And a teacher can't even discipline your kid anymore. They can tell on you, and you can go to jail for you disciplining your child.
Right.
So it's everything is in the perfect storm, and it's set forth so that you lose all control and power over everything.
Now tell me, where is this coming from? Where? Because everything
is coming from the top down.
What's the top?
Okay, top. I would say this is the top. Government. I'm not talking about just politicians. I'm talking about people that are in government that create policies, that are in departments. They're not elected officials. They believe some of this stuff too. Some of them come in out of college. Got to remember, everything's connected to colleges. So when you come in, you get an internship. You coming out of a college. You've been taught in a college what you should be doing when you get in your position and what you're supposed to be believing. So when they get into these positions, they're hired and they're government employees. They normally can't be fired. So now they controlling policy. Now they're pushing policy, even if a new administration come in.
But this is snowflake is not a policy.
Hold on. No. But what happens is now it's coming down from the top. The bottom would have been from elementary school. You've been and at the home, whatever your parents is teaching you. What are you learning on TV? What are you learning in grade school? What are you learning? And then top, so it all comes together. That's my thought process on how it comes together. You teaching them from elementary, from a young age, of how to think, what is correct, what is incorrect. You can't even have a disagreement on simple things. You know what I'm saying? So then you got the top where they're enforcing it with policy, and then then you got judges and people up in those positions that when they take a lawsuit to you, when they rule in that way, it becomes it has a what you call it, a merit. Not merit. It makes it legitimate. It legitimizes it by giving it a mandate. It gives it I can't. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I just think, just to close out the conversation, I just was really shocked to find out that people actually walked away with hurt feelings, and then it was expected that apologies given or reassurance was given that although you may be, we're going to keep using the gay scenario because that's what's the hypothetical thing that was brought up, that you may be gay, that even though you may be gay and I may not come to your wedding, I still love you.
That's right.
And so, and I think for me personally, because me and you've had this conversation, and I'm going to the wedding.
Yeah, we think
I'm helping plan the wedding.
Right.
I'm that parent that they can sleep in my house. We're totally on two different ends of the spectrum when it comes to this, because, and you used the example with me earlier regarding, what did you say to me? You said something about if your friend is Jewish, and
no, I said that I said I don't believe in Ramadan. I'm not a Muslim, so I don't follow that. I think that's Muslim, Ramadan, whatever it is. I may be wrong. Heck, I may be Jewish. I'm not sure, but maybe saying the wrong thing. But I'm not that religion. So if somebody asks me to come to it and actually ask me to participate in it and actually whatever, I know that has a significant meaning. I know that is
it's Muslim.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I know that means something to them. It has a particular meaning, and I know that I'm a Christian.
Right.
So I don't want to go celebrate that. I might go if I went to something like that, they'd be learning or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But if I'm going there and I know what it means, and I'm like, hey, I don't believe this. I'm not gonna go practice this. I'm not gonna go do this event, this act, this worship that you're doing, because I don't believe in it. Especially if it goes against what I believe. And
that's when I came in, because I was like, well, I don't subscribe, because I feel like if my friend is celebrating or going through whatever, I don't know where Ramadan is specifically, but I just feel like if I'm there and they invite me to come support them, to be a part of whatever they're celebrating, even though it may go against what I believe as a Christian, long as they're not trying to convince me of anything, I'm good. I mean, for me, that's the difference. I mean,
act of worship to me. So they take their act of worship that serious.
Then they should be inviting somebody that is non-Muslim. Then
that's not necessarily true, because the whole goal for any religion is to include. So I don't. One of the problems that Christians have is they don't take the act of worship as serious as other religions do. Things that should be done, and we do all these other crazy things in worship, and we don't respect the act of worship, and we know these acts of worship by we should look at the examples in the Bible of the acts of worship. Let's just say that. So I'm just saying we don't respect our acts of worship. They do all kind of things in these congregations and everything else.
Well, maybe that wasn't probably a good example to use because it is dealing with.
It's an act of
it's worshiping and religion.
So a wedding is a ceremony to God. So
okay,
do you
it is.
understand?
I get it. It is, but
so you got that. So a wedding is a ceremony, and you acknowledging that whether it be a judge, whether it be whatever. It is.
But you can't tell. No, now I don't really want to get this deep in religion, but you can't tell anybody.
But I don't want to go to it.
Why?
I don't want to be a part of it.
You're not a part of it. You just
if my child said I'm going to marry this tree, I don't believe in you marrying a tree, and I'm not coming to. If my child said I'm going to marry this dog or this goat,
okay, that's
I'm
different.
That's
not. You can't compare marrying a tree or a dog to marrying another human being.
No, you can.
How?
Let me tell you,
how do you even justify that?
If it doesn't, okay, you cannot. Okay, you can marry, you can. Okay, but in the eyes of whatever God or whatever you want to say, you can't.
You can't tell anybody what their relationship is with God. Can you?
What you mean?
I can tell you what you should and should not believe. What your God.
I can tell you what
believe.
Okay, so their God. Okay, they may not even believe in God.
Okay, now I don't want to go there.
But
because it could be be a Christian wedding.
Okay, I do. All I'm saying is what affects me, what bothers my spirit. I don't feel good about it.
That is not an act of worship.
It is. To me, marriage is sacred. Marriage is spiritual.
And why isn't it sacred and why isn't it spiritual? Just because there are two people of the same sex getting married, and one of them is your child.
Because I don't believe in that type of marriage. And if I don't believe in it, and if I participate
doesn't mean you can't go.
Then it's saying that I acknowledge it and I believe it.
That does not necessarily say
That's
that.
what it says to me.
It's showing your love and support, you being there for somebody on their special day, regardless of what it is.
I see it differently. And nobody's going to change that.
Well, I'm not here to try to convince you because I just know for me personally, I'm supporting my child.
I know you are. I know you will.
You know.
And if your child say, I want to go rob this bank, you
can't. That's not the same thing.
Why?
That's against the law of the land.
That law is okay to break.
Okay, see, I don't want to get into that with you.
But that's how. But you see how it affects me.
But you know what? I am not here.
It's not about
I am not to save any. I can't save nobody's soul. I can't condemn nobody to hell.
Correct.
But you know what? I can go to court or testify or not testify whether they go to jail or not. That's so different.
This ain't about them. See, that was my point. It's not about them. It's about my beliefs. This is part of the snowflake movement. I want you to hear my point.
I'm not a snowflake, and I'm not trying to convince you. My feelings are not hurt.
No, you're not a snowflake, but you're signing on to snowflake mentality. And let me give you what I mean. What I'm saying.
Please do, because that's not what I just read in the definition.
Because people get offended.
I'm not
over
offended.
somebody's religious beliefs. If I say I don't believe that, if I was a Muslim, this is the problem. One of the biggest problems I had. And I tried to use this as an example with your mother at the time when I had the conversation. If I was a Muslim, a devout, hard Muslim, and y'all approached me with that, they would not even come at me with that. They would respect the fact that, he's religion. He would never do that. Oh, no. But because I'm a Christian, it's watered down. It's like
I don't think it has anything to do with you being a Christian.
I guarantee you will not approach a Muslim that truly believes in what he believes in. And really truly
Let me tell you something. If I had a friend that was a devout Muslim and had a strict doctrine of what they did, and I wanted to invite them to a ceremony, as a friend, I would definitely invite them. But the thing about it is, I can't get upset if they choose not to come.
Exactly.
Because if they tell me it's something that I may not necessarily agree, but I get it. But you have to hold the same standards and respect for me also when I don't want to participate in something that you're doing.
Well, that's fine, but I want my whole point. That's the whole point that I was making. It wasn't about them. I said, hey, look, I love you, whatever, but I'm not going to that kind of wedding. I'm
that
not
kind of
do
wedding.
it.
Why do you say it like that? Like it's
Because I'm trying not to offend some of these snowflakes out here. I'm not going to okay, I'm gonna just say the words. I'm not going to a gay. I'm not going to participate in the gay wedding.
when you say participate, okay, when you go to a wedding, what are you participating
everybody
in?
participates in a wedding. Not just the people in the wedding, but the people sitting in the wedding are participants.
They're guests.
They are guests, but they're there to celebrate and to witness your marriage.
They don't need all of us there for a witness. They need one person
Then
for
they
that.
don't need me.
You know what? You make me sick. I don't want to go any further with this. Honestly, y'all, when this was a serious conversation we had. When I tell you people have some hurt feelings, and I personally couldn't understand the hurt feeling because I'm just like, who letting these people be upset about something that was a hypothetical situation? Because if my kids or somebody came to me and was like, my feelings was hurt because such and such said such and such. Okay, but it was hypothetical. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it was a lot. I don't know what your family conversations are like, but I was get really intense, and everybody was talking over each other. Nobody's being heard.
That's why I said
Nobody's point was being made.
Trying to prove. My point was that if this is why would you force somebody?
But nobody was forcing. All of y'all was trying to convince and persuade on both sides. We couldn't just have a general conversation about.
No, I was just saying that you saying that, but I wasn't. My whole thing was that I'm not doing it. This is my personal beliefs. I don't believe in that, and I'm not gonna support that. I'm not gonna go to that.
Okay.
And that's all I was saying. They didn't understand my thought process. They said what. In the world,
they were trying to chip at it.
What kind of God do you serve? What kind of
who said that? What kind of God do you serve? My sister said that.
Yes.
Okay, she probably did. She's always saying that.
That's not my. She was in hers, but then she doesn't even believe in the Bible. Whatever.
Right.
She did a podcast about it.
Right.
She don't believe in the Bible. So, and I wasn't gonna challenge her on it. I mean, I tried to challenge her, but she doesn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. She doesn't believe the Bible is the true word of God. So if a man wrote it, she don't believe it. But she believe them textbooks. So I'm just saying.
So one thing we talked briefly outside of that conversation, of the hypothetical conversation, not the family, but just you and I in general. So it was a spinoff, so to speak. Mm-hmm. What do you think about young college students who, I'm just going to say them because that's seems to be more in their realm, and this is where I kind of heard the verbiage, the scenario come from. You have someone in college, male or female, and throughout their life, they have never really been in a relationship. They've watched their friends be in relationships with other people, and they've seen, companionship and just a different type of socialization with the opposite sex, and it has never really happened to them. They never had a boyfriend, they never had a girlfriend. And so because they, I guess at some point, I hate to say lonely, but for fear of not being approached or not being taken seriously by the opposite sex, which you desire, you make a conscious decision, you know what, well, since I can't find somebody who's physically or mentally attracted to me for who I am, I might as well date somebody of the same sex. Now I found that a lot of college students are making these decisions because of a fear of being alone.
Rejection?
I can't
all
really.
All of the above.
Yeah, I don't know if they really are rejected or they just not really accepted. Like you may have a friend you may have a crush on a girl, and she never sees you anything beyond a friend. And all your girlfriends may see you just see you as keep you in the friend zone. They never take you serious in a relationship. So at some point you say, "Hey, I'm gonna get me a boyfriend."
All right, so I will say this. I really believe there's somebody for everybody. I think you got to put yourself out there. If you really want to date the opposite, but if you're gonna if you're gonna go toward the either that's already in you, I think that you actually are interested. I don't think you just say, "Oh, I'm gonna date that."
But just think about it. If you make a decision to say, I'm going to be gay because I have no other choice to be gay. Are you really gay?
That's not really. I can't see nobody doing that.
It's happening.
It's just like when you see these women that say a man did this to them and hurt them, so they got a woman because it's a woman.
That's it's always been there
but they get these women that look like dudes. So it's just so
you know what, people always say that, but it's a preference. It's just a personal preference. Just
they
like
want an idea of thinking it's a dude. This is a dude.
if you're a girl and you like another girl, it's not because she looks like a dude. You just like a masculine type female, or you may like a feminine type female. You know what I mean? Like some women like huge masculine guys. They may like soft guys. You know what I'm saying? Who don't necessarily have muscles or athletically. It's a preference, and I think people who are muscle. I think non-gay people think too much of what gay people trying to figure out what's going on. Why do they think? Why do they choose? What can they do to please me? Why are you using a dildo with another woman when you could be with a man? I mean,
it's actually something to be curious about. It is actually.
Why would a straight person be curious about what a gay person is doing unless you're interested?
Nah, that's not true. It's curiosity of the fact of what makes you.
But I know you're not curious because you won't even go to a gay wedding. So I know you have no desire to learn.
No. I'm curious of the mind. I'm actually fascinated with a lot of stuff, and that's one of the things I am fascinated. What makes I ask questions about stuff like that all the time, like. And I know people that I mean, it sounds like I'm a racist. But I have gay friends. I know people that are gay. You know, what
I have gay friends.
Yeah, so, but I'm saying it because even if it got on the subject, I'm not just gonna bring it up and just say, "Hey, I'm curious. Let me ask you a couple of questions." You know what I'm saying? But if I ever get on the subject of something, I always ask. Like, what make you like? How does that work? Like, what's the attraction or what's the point?
Okay, what's the attraction for you in a female? What's the point of it? It's for whatever being in a relationship with a female means to you. It's the same for them.
You don't have everything. I mean, I don't.
Okay, you focusing on body parts, but it's more to a relationship than just sex.
All right, so I guess you're right. You're right about that. I guess it can be mental, but. I mean, you can have a best buddy like a homeboy if y'all just mentally vibing like, yeah, this is I like this. Let's go hang. Let's go play ball. Let's go play the video. Whatever you do, let's go get some beers or whatever, drinks or whatever. That's different. I just don't understand the physical. I don't understand how the physical and the relation, the emotional that thing that comes that bring the sex and everything, how that comes together with the same sex. I just don't see that.
It's the same thoughts and feelings and emotion that drives a heterosexual relationship. It's no different.
I just don't understand it. So so the whole point is I don't understand. I would ask questions on it, but I don't understand the attraction. I'm not saying that it is.
You know why you don't understand it? Because it's not for you. It's not for you to understand.
Well, no, you're probably right. It's not for me to understand, but it's for me to try to understand. And I'd have no problem with trying to understand. That doesn't mean I have to accept it as right or wrong because somebody feels a certain way.
Look, my position is, look, you don't support me. You don't want nothing to do with me. You don't even believe in a relationship, my relationship, hypothetically, with my girlfriend. So I don't feel the need to have to explain to you or help you understand anything about my relationship. It's none of your damn business.
Well, I don't have to ask you. I just go find somebody else that would tell me. I don't need that.
I just think non-gay people just overthink too much. And that's what we were talking about also about coming out. What the hell is coming out? I was watching
See, there you go.
The Boys I Used to Love. It's on Netflix. And one of the young high school little
Watching
boys,
these movies.
one of the little boys, the girl had said she had a crush on him when he was young, and so they're older now. And he was like, I'm gay, right? She was like, yeah. He said, but don't tell nobody. She was like, what? Why? He was like, oh, my mom, I done came out to my mom, my dad, and my sister, everybody's cool, whatever. But, people in high school kind of know, but you know what? It's still high school. So, and it triggered in my head, why does anybody have to come out to anybody? Do our kids come out to us and say, guess what, mom, dad? I like boys. I like girls. I mean, did your son come to you and say, Dad, it's just ridiculous to me why a person.
My son said I like girls.
Okay, but it wasn't called coming out. It was just a natural thing to do. So why does a person feel that they have to come out of what? Of who you are to help somebody or help somebody else be comfortable with what you decide you want to do with your body, with your relationships, with your life? It's just crazy to me. I don't think anybody owes anybody that justification.
I agree with you there. I think I think if you're going to be doing that type of stuff,
what type of stuff?
Sexual intercourse with the same, or sexual contact, whatever you want to call it, with the same, that's your private business. I think sex is private.
It is private.
So I think that people don't need to be telling everybody.
Who came out with coming out? What? I don't even know. You probably don't even know.
I do know. That came from, that's kind of like movement happened in the 80s, pretty much when it's almost like a lot of the, I guess, as a gay sexual coming out was coming on during the 80s. But
when it became, people were actually coming out, just
telling people that you come to find out all these stars
instead of just seeing somebody with the same sex, you to let somebody know.
Right. You start telling them, like, you always see Johnny with Joe, and they everywhere they go, they together. You thinking like,
this my boyfriend.
This is my best friend. This is these best friends, but they actually in relationships, and people never knew that, and or they roommates and they hanging out. So that was kind of how it was. But
I just feel, look, I'm a snowflake. I just feel kind of offended by the thought that somebody feels like they have to come out to anybody. I mean, you are who you are, and
I don't think they have to. I mean, I guess it's to the point now that they can marry and do all that.
As parents, if we have the expectation that our children, our girls are going to date boys and our boys are going to date girls,
right?
That's our expectation.
Well, that's because of procreation. That's because of the way God designed it. That's kind of how it really was set up to be.
Right.
And everybody can make a big issue of it, but until a woman can produce sperm and a man can produce an egg, that is
which I'm sure is coming.
Well, it won't be a natural coming. It won't be it'll be some
genetically engineered type stuff.
Splice, whatever that movie was. They don't
yeah, I remember that.
Create some old creature or something. I don't know, but that just ain't natural. So it ain't the natural flow of life. So that's why it's hard for a lot of people, and they even, and then, people got like their own beliefs. I don't know what religion, where they actually, it may be something out there, but I don't know any religion, whether it be, from the East, from the Middle East, or from the wherever. I don't know no religion that actually say promotes gay lifestyle. I just don't know of one. I mean, it may be out there, but I don't know of one. So most of
you say promote. I don't like that word.
Well, let's use another word then. Celebrate. What's another word? 'Cause that's what a wedding is, celebrating. Let's say glorify.
I just think just the way the world has
top down, bottom up. Yep.
I guess I don't really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really
control
understand
the media,
that.
Control the.
I mean, you're talking about
academics.
things that are so far removed from me, from my everyday life, in the sense of, because unless somebody's sending subliminal messages through the TV, I mean, I don't think I necessarily see those type of things because I don't think
Everything.
me
What
raising
movies you
my
watch?
kids.
The movies you watch.
I watch all kind of
Okay.
movies.
So you watch everything, and you formulate an opinion. And the way they put stuff out now on movies and TV and everything is to give you the shape your
It is
ideas.
to shape your ideas
and
because they
thoughts.
are putting more.
But when you go to church and you learn these things, and you learn not what the preachers say, but when you read something and and you learn how to understand the Bible, and you try to understand the Bible, and you try to get an understanding over key issues, things that are in the Bible, or whether you Muslim, what's in your book or your Quran, or what's in your I forgot the Jewish book, whatever's in these books, or whatever, if you Hindu or Indian or whatever it is, whatever's in there over there, they got and it says something, and you're trying to learn these things, then you studying, you learning, and it's gonna go against a lot of stuff that you see on TV or that you hear, all these different cultures that they're trying to promote, but they're promoting the cultures, but they're not promoting the beliefs of the cultures and where the beliefs come from.
That's deep, honey.
No, what I'm saying is they want this multicultural. They want everybody to accept other races, other religions, but they really don't want you to accept the religions. Because if you really accept the religions, you have to give them the respect.
Is it accepting religions or accepting that we worship differently?
Well,
or is that the same thing? Because
that's the same thing. But what I'm saying is, they say America is not a. We are a. Oh man, my brain is, every time I get on this mic, I lose the English language. But they say we're not a religious. We're not a.
Who is they?
When you talk to scholars or whatever, they say we're not a Christian nation, or we're not a Muslim nation. We're not a particular type. We are a. I can't think of what.
A melting pot?
Not a melting pot, but where you have no religion involved at all.
Non-denominational?
No, I can't think of the word, but people out there know what I'm talking about. Where we are, if you know anything.
If you know what it is, hit me up.
Don't worry about it. It ain't that serious. But
Hashtag Tea with Monroe podcast.
But the whole point that I'm making is that they say we're not that, but yeah, we was founded on that. Right. We was founded on the Christian nation. That's why they came to America, to be able to practice their religion. They, even though they took slaves and they did all kinds of, but actually, it was free blacks came here too. So because England was coming out of that during that time. Anyway, but free blacks came in and everything. But now they ended up getting slaves over here too, bringing them over here. But the whole point is, you were a Christian established nation when this got established. It was a Christian nation now. But they accepted and they brought everything in it. They did not discriminate because you had the right to practice whatever religion you wanted. But yet, they don't really want you to practice your religion because they ruling laws against your religion. They take away your freedom of religion. They say you have to accept a gay marriage when you're saying, I don't believe in that. So that's kind of how they.
I see how you done circle back to, because I was like, what? Okay, so now I see what you're bringing it home to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I believe. I don't believe in.
So basically, when they're telling you to believe in something that is outside of what you believe as your religion, they're trying to force you to change your.
Right, because we have the right, as whatever it is,
to worship and view
whatever you believe in, the
that's
way
your right.
you
believe in.
And then when they force laws on you, so
well,
that means that I got to acknowledge. Is
anybody asking you to accept it as part of your life, or just to be respectful of it? I think it's a difference, because I think it's being forced because you don't accept gay marriage, or you don't accept the lifestyle, but you would never be disrespectful or rude or feel uncomfortable around anyone who's gay.
Not gonna be disrespectful.
But there are some people who are. So they have to take such a harsh approach, and it affects everybody, because there are people out there beyond ignorant who, instead of,
well, this is the way it is. You when you elect, or when you put people in power, elections have consequences. So if you got a judge that's been appointed and they agree to, regardless of what party it was, and you got majority of people saying that this is correct, or when you got politicians that you vote into office and you say this is what you want, this is what you get.
Right.
So you can't really get upset because just like they say, it's a freedom of religion. They can take that away and pass a law and say no more freedom of religion. If they want to amend the Constitution, they can do that. If they really wanted to. So my whole point is, elections have consequences. You get what you ask for, and that's neither side. I'm just saying, whatever you get, whatever you put in office, you can put everybody you think that's on your side, but they will vote, or they will elect a judge, appoint a judge, or put someone there that will rule against whatever you believe.
Right.
And that's my thought on it. So.
Okay. And on that note, we're going to hit the anonymous tea before we run out of too much time. Yeah. Okay, we got a doozy today. Now, we kind of read over this earlier, so I think what we should do, because it is such a long...
Nah, you should read it.
I'm going to read it, but you don't think we should just take each relationship and break it down one by one, because she's this is a young lady who's in a relationship with three different guys for three different reasons.
Read the whole thing so people have content.
Okay, well, I'm going to read the whole thing, but I know we should just attack each scenario of man one by one just to...
We can do it quick.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be quick, but okay. I wish to remain anonymous regarding my story. Okay. I'm a successful woman of color, and I'm doing quite well for myself for now. I'm doing quite well for myself for now. Okay. I have a master's degree and is gainfully employed, to which I can take care of 3 families with no sweat upon my brow. I am in a true relationship triangle that feels like a maze of confusion. I want to know what job she got taking care of 3 households. I need that job. First relationship. He is 1 year older than myself, and we have been off and on for almost 8 years since our first meeting. This guy has all the qualities a girl could desire. Successful businessman, retired from the military, benefits, making over $150,000 a year, no kids, and he loves me, or the way I fuck him or suck his brain through his dick. We have been in other relationships, but somehow he finds a way back to me. I guess so, if you got his brain. Next guy, I met him some months ago and fucked him on our first date. Since our first sexual encounter, he was professional. He has professed that he wants to be with me forever and would do whatever it takes to keep me interested in him. Initially, he told me he was 40-something. However, he lied to me about his age, and he is in his early 30s, no kids. This guy is in a prestigious school for his PhD in accounting and mathematics. He texts me daily and will give me the moon and the sun with a bow tied around them both. However, he married someone else to stay in the country and is paying her $30,000 plus for her bills. Now that he has met me, he wants to divorce her, the other woman, and swears that I am the woman he needs in his life. Good pussy pearl strikes again. Okay. The last nigga, her words, is the most important one. I am in love with this mother sucker. He is the Negro that I sacrificed for the most. He is always broke, no money. He asks me for money weekly because he knows my pay schedule. He has 6 kids with his ex-wife, or they still may be married, but separated for 2 years. He's continually lying, so I don't know. And he has a child from an affair he had while he was married to his ex-wife. Shit don't add up with him because he is always lying. But this nigga I love. Our relationships involves fucking and fighting most times. However, I know he loves me. Really, girl? That was me. Sorry. When I attempted to end the relationship, this Negro Ubered his way to my house and fucked me so good, I refunded the Uber payment, bought breakfast, and gave him my truck for the day. I repeatedly tell him that we are toxic to each other, but he swears he loves me and won't leave me alone. If he can't contact me, he will call until I finally answer. We eat out a lot, but I am the one that pays most times. He will pay if he has extra, but that's not often. What should I do? All 3 want a serious relationship, but I have only love for Negro 3. I hope that I can have feedback without the immature pettiness, such as she's dumb or stupid. My pussy is my problem. Boom.
She's correct.
Her pussy her problem.
Well, I noticed that she relates love with sex.
Okay.
That's the problem that she has because I don't think any of these guys love her. The first guy, um, she been seeing off and on for how many years? 7 years.
8.
All right, this dude ain't tried to marry her. This dude, if he really wanted to be with her, and it don't sound like she want him either. Um, so it's just pretty much she wouldn't be dealing with all these people if she cared that much about him. And it doesn't sound like she like him very much. She said she don't have any love for him. So what's even the point even much having him around? Number two
Okay.
is trying to use her. This is my thought. He's just a user. He's trying to get another free ride, whether he care for or like her or what. He's looking. He can't. He has to be married. So after he find another woman that he like, he'll be gone to the next woman. So that's just you feel to give yourself a heartache, and you're gonna end up getting half your income given over. Instead of him paying her $30,000, she gonna be paying something depending on what state he's in. Then number three, I don't even know what to say about that. This
He trifling.
this dude is using her too. He's using her, and she knows it. She explained it very well. She knows she's the one that's being taken advantage of, and hopefully she will snap out of it and stop giving her money over, and stop relating sex with love, because that's what he come do whenever she started trying to walk away. Now, it sounds like she just, that she's messed. She needs a little bit of counseling, and she needs to stop being active with everybody just for a second and get herself together. Not for a second, actually, well, you probably could find the right person for you. If you stop, let's see how much this dude love you. Stop giving him money. Let's see how much he love you. Because all she said is we're toxic for each other, but it sounds like he's toxic for her. She's not toxic for him. That's his paycheck. That's his bankroll. So, anyway, I'll let you formulate your opinion on it.
I just really, really, really had to marinate on this, and and our admins start messaging us in the admin group. It's like, what Dion was like, Dick is a motherfucker. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin, but I will say this. I know somebody did mention to me that
What they say.
they didn't understand. Well, she basically had to answer to her own questions. The fact that she's living her truth out loud, she knows the answer to these questions and why she basically is dumb. And here I go. I sort of kind of took offense to this, because just because we know better doesn't mean we always do better. And I guess I turn this way and talk to you since you're walking away from me. And I just I don't even know where to begin. First of all, I think all three of these guys are emotionally unavailable. Guy number one, he's in and out of her life at will, because she's allowed him to come in and out of her life. I don't care what he has, how much money he has. He's just interested in a good time gal. And she is that loyal. What do y'all call girls that one you could call in y'all little black book when y'all come to town? She's just that girl that he could fall back on in between relationships. I don't know what that girl's called, but
Oh, no, they have a name for it.
is it a good time girl? I don't know what y'all call these girls, but
Dang, I forgot the name.
just think about
There's
it.
a name for it.
Yeah, and so I don't think he takes her seriously. I don't think he takes her as a relationship type girl seriously, because she's allowed this behavior to go on for so long. Again, she's that girl that he comes to in between other relationships just to get his rocks off and have a good time, because she's good time Sally. The next guy, okay, I don't believe, when she told me about him, I didn't believe not one single word that she said about this guy. He's paying this girl $30,000 for paying her bills. He's here because she married him. I don't believe none of that. He's still in school. He doesn't even have his PhD. I don't even know where he's getting his money from. But she did say he's not from this country, so it's plausible. But I don't think for 1 minute that he has good intentions with her. Once again, he's not available.
He's a user.
He's a user, and he's emotionally unavailable. Guy number 3. Girl, the road signs are on every corner. Stop. Don't yield. Stop. Just stop. I mean, he don't have no job. He don't have no money. He has 7 children. He wasn't faithful to his wife. She don't even know if he's still married or not. He has to catch Ubers to get to her, and she has to pay him back. She has to pay him back for the Ubers. And I'm not saying that you can't date someone who is not on your level, financially, but at least have some potential. At least have some earning potential. You know what I mean? And he seems to be using her. All 3 guys are using her for various reasons.
That's exactly right.
And girl, let your people go. Let all 3 of them go. This is not healthy. It's not healthy for you. You seem to be and you've mentioned it, you're educated, you make good money. Build a man. I mean, you can do a lot better than what is being handed to you, and why you feel that you have to accept it. And you seem to be glorifying your vagina. You seem to be very confident in your sex. Be confident in your emotions. Be confident in who you are as a woman to know that you deserve better. It's not about you got the popping pussy. Have a popping self-esteem. Have a popping brain. Have some sense about yourself to say, you know what, I deserve better than 1, 2, and especially 3. And you seem to have yourself wrapped up in, and maybe it's intentional. Maybe she intentionally wants guys that she can't have. You know what I'm saying? That way she maintains the control, and maybe she's able to come and do as she please, and then go about her business. You know what I mean? Because the third guy, the one that she says she loves, that's the only one she says she loves now. It
sounds like, see, there's a thing that happens with a guy. When a guy can take care of a woman, a lot of times guys don't want a woman that is independent. They don't want a woman that can do for themselves. They don't want a woman because it makes them feel good to be able to take care of them. It makes them feel like they love that woman because they're taking care of that woman. I think that's the same thing she has. She feels that she's helping him. She feels that she's taking care of him. She feels that he needs her, and he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to come over and take care of some things I need on a physical level. So I think that's what's happening with her. Sometimes guys end up doing that to themselves when they got a woman that's too independent, they can do just as much as they can
just
as far as financial.
exceeding them.
Right,
yeah.
right. So it makes them feel insecure, and I think it makes her feel superior over him in some way.
How? I mean, how could you feel superior over somebody who ain't got shit?
And that's exactly why. The other
so
two,
you want to take?
If one is paying somebody $30,000 a year to stay in the country, he has something.
I think he lying, but go ahead. That just seems too good to be true.
No, it's real. They have that.
Then why would you divorce?
If he's from another country, they have a whole nother income coming in, probably from another country, because a lot of countries you can.
So maybe he's trying to get with her because she has her own money and don't need his $30,000.
He don't need to pay her. That's what I just said.
Okay.
He doesn't need to pay. He won't need to pay her if she caring for him and actually in a relationship with her. And even if it's real, if something goes south, she's gonna be the one end up paying him.
Right, that's true.
Because how you gonna prove his income?
Right.
If he got income, he's in school. He's obviously getting income from somewhere.
Or he could be getting grants and different things because he's out of the country.
That's true. But then number one, don't really. It is a name for that, and I just can't think of what it is.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like he just comes to her when he's not in a relationship.
Right.
He just needs something to do, and she's available. She makes herself available to unavailable men.
She's always, what do you want to call it? She's never going to say no. She's always going to be that roundaway girl, or that I forgot what.
And honestly, I don't want to say that they don't have any respect for her, because they probably do. Right. But there's nothing gratifying and glorified about them wanting to be with you because you got the best sex ever. What other qualities do they say that you have that makes them want to be with you? I mean, it's got to be more than great sex. I mean,
It may be. I'm gonna say this. Yeah, you can have good sex, but is he trying to marry you?
right?
If it's that great, he's all over you. He's not,
Especially
letting
that number
nobody-
one. That
Yeah,
number
he's not
one is
letting
too good to be true.
Right. He's not letting nobody get there. And do they even know about each other? You know, if they don't even know about each other, then something's wrong. You know, I mean, like you being a player.
Especially with that third one, he seems to be a stalker. So how do you have time for the other two with that third one following you around in the Uber?
And he ain't gonna let nobody. If he find out, he gonna have a fit because
he messing with his money.
Yeah, he like, wait a minute, what? You messing with somebody else?
Anyway, girl,
let
you know what? I here's my thing. I'm all for happiness, and I get it. I'm a lover of love. I love to be in love. I love to be in relationships. I can't support 3 households, but I definitely can take care of myself and people that I love. But one thing for sure is you have to know your value, and it's not all predicated on how much money you have and anything that you could do for somebody else, whether it's financially or physically, you know, and you need to just really just let all 3 of them go. Do some cleanse your spirit, cleanse your mind, pray, do some soul searching, take a trip with some friends, and don't bring nobody back. Like Stella got a groove back. You know what I'm saying? Just focus on you and the things that you're trying to do and the things that you're trying to accomplish, because you seem to be a very accomplished woman, but you're allowing people, these men, I don't even know what to say. You just allowing these men to just drain you of your energy. And that's not healthy, sis. Let them go. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Until one of those men actually prove to you that they love you, cherish you, adore you, and respect everything you're bringing to the table outside of sex, and actually put a ring on it. I mean, or if you just want to continue fucking them without getting emotionally attached, I don't know if that's possible, especially with that third one, but definitely let that trifling ninja go, because he is just out for a opportunity, free meals, good sex, and girl,
got the best of
yeah, and after a while he gonna have you paying his child support for his 7 kids. Just stop. Let him go. Because let me tell you something. If he cheated on a wife of 6 kids and got somebody else pregnant, and you don't even know if he's still married or not. Who is he? You don't even know he is. What have you even ran his credit or his profile to see he is who he say he is? He could be catfishing you in person. You know what I'm saying? Let that fool go. Okay, and if you need to talk to me, I'm here for you. twithmonroe@gmail.com, girl. Just email me, or at least email me your phone number, and we could do some soul searching. I got a couch. Yeah. I'm not licensed, but I've lived, and I would definitely help you build yourself up as a woman.
Yeah,
because this is crazy.
I would say truly though, if you do hear this podcast, go get some
help.
Real help. You can make enough money. You probably got good insurance. You can go get a counselor. Seriously, and just try to work this out without involving yourself physically. I know you probably love, the sex with your friends. I guess they're your friends, but you need to pull back so that you can actually make good choices, because obviously you make bad choices once you get sex.
Yeah. Take the sex out the equation. I think once you take the sex off the table, you will see clearly, because your pussy will not be guiding you. Okay, it will be all your intellect, because that's what you need to guide you through this BS, honey. Because this shit is.
I thought guys only had that problem. I'm just shocked. I thought women had more power. Y'all got too much power for that.
Yeah, your pussy is powerful. Why you allowed it to drag you down a long dark road with that fool, especially number 3? All of them ain't shit though. I don't think any of them are good for you. I don't think it's healthy for you. And if a man wanted to be with you, he would make a way to be with you. and you say they all want you, but they all have their selfish reasons, let your people go. And on that note, we about to go. If you want to be a part of this conversation, hashtag me TWM TWM podcast. That's TWM podcast, or hashtag T with Monroe podcast, and be a part of the conversation. To give us your feedback, and yeah, let's keep it popping. I appreciate everyone who is listening to the podcast today.